Good morning, happy Friday. Nice and sunny today. Gonna be reasonable out. I think it's supposed to be above freezing this afternoon, so things are gonna get sloppy. The weather moderates here. We're gonna be up to 38, I think it said tomorrow, in the 40s and 50s over the weekend and next week. So that'll be kind of nice. We'll get rid of our snow and it'll be really sloppy and muddy out, but that's okay. We got to get to that point before we can get to spring, right? We're going to work in the shop here a little bit this morning. I got my boards pretty well done with what I needed to do there, so get that project done. So Xander's been washing row units on this on and off all week. He's over on the other side now. I'm going to take apart row 1 here. We're going to measure some openers, just look at everything and see what else needs to be done to these row units. So let's do it. First thing we have to do is get our conceal knives out of the way. So we got to pull this little clip here. Maybe I'll show it. Come on. That's the best way to do this. That one's not cooperating. Come on. Okay, hold on. That one might be a little extra bent. I don't know. Anyway, we pull that out, and then this pin will come out. I'm going to have to push it out. There. And then that folds down. And we're going to put our pin back in there for now so we don't lose it. And this clip loosely. Come on. There, like that. Okay. Now, we got to set our depth stops back the other way. So first thing I notice is our adjustment, not bad. Maybe just a touch loose, but that's after a full season of wear, so not too bad. We're gonna pop this gauge wheel off here. Maybe. Okay. I'm gonna need 2 hands to catch that. Okay, so there's our gauge wheel. You can see this row here, we have this in-furrow tube here like this. Some of you may remember that we had put some seed firmers on here last year that turned out to be total garbage, so we sort of halfway through the year started taking some of them off as they were getting bent. I don't know if there's any of them still on the planter. Yeah, there is. There's a couple over there yet. So the rest of them are going to come off, and we're going to put these back on. That's the style we're going to roll with. Good or bad, they're the best ones I've used so far. We may have to do something different with some of these lines and the plumbing side of it, but we'll deal with that when we get there. So we are missing a cap on this opener. It's not great, but we've probably got one laying around here somewhere we can throw on there. So we're going to go ahead and take that off. Let's see. So it's backwards. Yeah. There's lefts and rights on these. So okay. Now carefully, we're going to pop that off because we don't want to lose all of our shims. A couple shims on the outside, their storage, and then we got more on the inside here that get us the proper spacing. So we'll look at our seed tube guard. The wear part's still on the side there. Sometimes they'll fall off and break, but that one looks okay. We're going to get a tape measure and measure this, see what our opener looks like. You guys correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we put these on last year, so pretty confident they'll be in good shape yet. They are new 15 inches across. We are at 14 and 7/8, 11, no, it'd be 13 16ths. They're still good. They are still good. So the manufacturer will tell you they're good till 14 inches. Most people will tell you you replace them as soon as they get to 14 and a half. I am of the 14 and a half belief. So we've definitely got another year, maybe 2 years on these openers yet. If we could get 3 years on a set of openers, that'd be awesome. So from the inside, they look pretty good. The outside, we've obviously lost our bevel here. It's not as sharp, crisp of an edge as what we had seen before when they were new, but they're going to wear, right? So I'm still happy with them. These will work, so we just need to make sure that they are adjusted properly. So what else do we need to look at here? Our row cleaners, checking bearings, making sure nothing is loose, everything spins free, we don't have a bunch of crap wrapped up on them. They should float and pivot, nothing's bound up. Same thing with these, they should pivot, not be super tight and bound up. We're going to look at our knives on our conceals here. They have this wear strip on the bottom. This is one of the extended wear ones where that strip is a lot wider, thicker, and we can kind of look at the back here, make sure it's not wearing into that hole. Everything's good and clean and not broken, so I like that. It looks good. Obviously we've had the brush belts out. He's already cleaned all of that stuff, so we don't really need to do much there. And we're going to come back and look at our closing wheels. We're going to check these for slop, and we're starting to get a little bit of wear here. I don't think that's terrible yet. At some point in the life of this planter, we're going to end up putting the RK closing wheel kit on, or copperhead closing wheel kits, where we weld the housing on there and put an actual bearing in on that. But I decided to wear them out before we do that. So it's getting there, but it's okay. We'll check to make sure these bolts are tight. Sometimes I have those come loose on me in season. We're going to check our closing wheels for bearings. They seem to be pretty good. Make sure our springs, nothing's broken there, which shouldn't have any issues. So this one looks pretty good. We'll sort of check the other side, and I don't know that we need to take them all the way apart if we're not going to replace openers or anything. So just a matter of going through them one at a time. So this one can go back together, and we'll check our gap. Okay, so I put that wheel opener disc back on reasonably tight. I didn't torque it down super hard, but I'm going to get a couple of business cards, and we're going to check the amount of space between where they contact each other here and they separate down here. I'll show you. All right, so I went and grabbed a couple of my old business cards. Ask me how to grow more corn and soybeans. Yeah. And essentially we're going to come around the front of this, and can you see, maybe, those openers are on an angle to each other. So if you look right here, we can get that business card in between them. And we're going to do that, and we're going to push it down until it stays where they're kind of touching there. And then we're going to take the other one, and we're going to do the same thing from the bottom until it stays. And now we want to make them kind of parallel with each other. And we take our tape measure and measure that distance. And that distance is just under 2.5. It's 2 and, what would that be? 7, no. 2 and 3/8. Yeah, 2 and 3/8. So, that's okay. So the spec on the book is 1.5 to 2.5 inches. We're on the high side of that, and I think it's okay. I really want them all to be pretty similar. Like, I don't want some at 1.5 and some at 2.5. I usually shoot for closer to 2. So the way we would adjust that is by changing those shims. I'm gonna try, since like I said, I didn't tighten this one real hard, but that would make it tighter. So the option is to take one of our shims from the outside and put it on the inside. That spaces them out a little bit, and then we get a little bit less contact area. So I'm going to go ahead and do that on this one. We'll see if we'll do one and see how much of a difference it makes. Okay, I moved one of those openers, or one of those shims, from one side of the opener to the other. And now we're going to put our cards back in. And they should be a little bit closer together. They don't look a lot closer together. What do we got now? Boy, about the same. That really didn't make much difference. About 16th. Pretty tight. Pretty tight. Alright, well, we're going to leave it like that. So realistically, if you were going to adjust all of these and you're going to go back and forth, you need to take the other gauge wheel off. You've got to take the other opener off because you want the shims to be about the same on both sides so that it's centered on the shank. But like we're within spec, it's a little bit more gap than I would like, but I don't think it's a bad thing. So we're good. We got to go find a cap. Oh, someday this needs to be cleaned out. There's our cap. Okay, well, there's two different sizes of plugs apparently, because the ones that I have in the parts bin are too small for that, which doesn't surprise me. It's different branded openers. I put the wear parts openers on here last year or whenever we did that, so they're a little bit different hub size. However, there is a John Deere part number on the inside of it, and it says I can get them from my dealer. So we're going to see how many more, if any more, we need. I'll order some. We'll leave that gauge wheel off for now, but we do need to go through when we put our gauge wheels back on, and you can adjust this inner hub separate from the bolt, and it moves it in and out, and we want this edge to just be touching. If we lift it up, see, that's a little bit loose because it's not touching when it's up, but it is when it's down. So that one needs to be brought in just a little bit and tightened up. But that's what we're trying to accomplish there. Anyway, that's the stuff we need to go through on the planter on the row units. So I'm going to teach Xander how to do that, and he's going to do the rest of them. But I wanted to see where we were at on everything and what all it's going to take. But looks good. Everything should be in good shape. I do need to figure out what we're going to do with this Infuro system here yet. I did reach out to the flow monitoring company, and well, I didn't get quite the response back that I had hoped to, but it's okay. We're probably going to get it and put it on, but they're not going to get as much advertising as what I had hoped to give them. Let's put it that way. All right, so I'm teaching Xander how to do this on row 2 here, and we've got a problem with our gauge wheel. We're just getting ready to put it back on and notice that we have a broken grease zerk. So we're going to have to get an extractor and pull that out and put a new zerk in there. Much easier to do here than it is on the planter. Actually, they're not too hard to get to on the planter either, but we'll just do it here. Okay, we got that grease zerk fixed and in there, and got that put on and adjusted right. So Xander's got a pretty good idea of what he's got to do. That process of going through and adjusting and checking everything will be faster than the cleaning process. But he's been back to working on cleaning out these row unit meters and everything. I don't know where he's at. Probably got 5 or 6 more to do anyway. Looks like that one maybe is where he's at. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Anyway, so that's going well. I don't know that we have that much to do to this. Wow. That's good. That's a good thing. I was going to look at rerouting some hoses. I might have to dig into that a little bit. So one of the issues that I've had with this planter, and I've had it since it was new basically, but I get air trapped in this wet boom kit or line for the Infuro fertilizer, and it won't, for whatever reason, it won't purge the air out, and then it has these little pressure spikes, and the application rate is high and low, high, low, high, low, high, low, back and forth real fast. And I would like to put an air purge on there, but there's not really a good way to do it. The way that last one hooks onto the end of that pipe. I hear John Deere might have a kit for that or had a pip or something. I don't know. I need to look into that. But it only really happens when we drain our tank or something. And I think a big part of the reason why is because the hose coming from our Infuro tank coming to this pump kind of goes up in the middle there. It's this hose right here that comes around, and it goes up and then comes back down. I think we get air trapped in there. And so if I can get it all purged out, then it's not too much of an issue. But sometimes that doesn't always work. See, it's this line here, and it goes up It's really not that bad though. I've got to go over that. I can't go underneath it because of all those hoses and wires underneath there. I thought if I could reroute this and keep it lower so it didn't have a hump in it before it gets to the pump, maybe that would be better. But just looking at that, I don't know if there's really anywhere else for it to go. So we might have to find a way to, I'm going to look into that air purge kit for Exact Rate. I might have to go talk to somebody at the dealership, but yeah, we'll see. As I was wrapping up yesterday's video, I told you I'd try and show you what Dad's been working on the last few days or weeks here. Another little side project that I haven't shown yet. So I came down the road here. Take a look around a little bit. I haven't been down here. So we are just down the road from the farm. You can kind of see it through the trees over there and the seed warehouse right there. There's an old house lot here, a bunch of trees and stuff. There used to be a house right up there. There's a little shed over there. There was a big hip roof barn that fell down years ago over there. A couple other buildings. I think there was one back here somewhere. Anyway, we farmed this farm since the mid-'80s, or a long time, years and years and years. But we haven't owned it until about 2 months ago now. And we finally got this place bought. The guy that owned it passed away last year. And yeah, so there's a 40 acres here that we got bought. There was about 30 of it tillable. There's the woods over there and this lot here. So anyway, we are gonna clean this lot off, probably entirely at some point, but at least the back part and the majority of it for right now. So Dad's been kind of in here working on digging some trees, cutting some stuff up a little bit, some of the small stuff, and trying to figure out what all we've got to do to get this stuff done. So when I was a kid, I remember there being a big pasture back here, and all of these trees have grown up since. Like they didn't used to be there, so they're not. Most of them aren't that old and shouldn't take all that much to clear out. Dad did do some work on the north side there that we bought a few years ago and had piled some stumps in here, stuff like this, and we decided to kind of move them. So yesterday or the day before, he had Xander pushing them back to the other woods over there. We'll make a pile back there and knock some dirt off and hopefully at some point get them to burn. But yeah, gonna be a little bit of work clearing this off, and it'll be real nice once we can farm right through all this. In fact, enough to the point where we're talking about, because we go all the way out to the road that way now, we're thinking about just running the roads all the way up to my house there instead of having a separate field there. So we'll see. But this field is going to beans this spring, and then we'll be wheat this fall for the 27 crop. So once we have wheat out here, then it'll probably be when we do most of the work. We'll just peck away at it in the meantime. There's a few pine trees back here. We were trying to decide whether there's any logs worth saving. Some of that stuff. There might be. Yeah, there's an old barn foundation. They poured a lot of concrete in this place. Dad has found that out. And they didn't cheap out either. That's thick stuff. All right. Well, he's still washing. I gotta get out of here. It's 1:30, 2 o'clock, something like that. We are going up to visit my sister this weekend. My middle child, Grayson, his birthday is on Monday, and so we're going to cousin's house for a couple days, for a day, tonight and tomorrow. And we're gonna leave here pretty soon. So, thanks for watching. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. Don't forget to subscribe to the video or to the channel, like the video, and we'll see you guys next week on Monday. Videos are going to get pretty sparse over the next 2 weeks. One of them I'm going to be in Texas for Commodity Classics, so if you're down there, I will be around Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I'm getting down there Tuesday afternoon, leaving Friday evening or afternoon, so I'll be around. Be around the show a lot, and I don't know what all else, but yeah, so if you see me there, you're there, and you want to say hi, feel free. I don't know where I'll be any specific days at any specific times, but we'll be there. So anyway, I'll update you on some more stuff next week, and we'll see you then. See ya.